We live in an extraordinary world. 8 billion brothers and sisters, 195 different countries, 6,500 spoken languages, and 4,500 practiced religions. But this is the external world. This is the world we see and hear and touch through our sense organs. There's another world also, which is our inner world, the world of thoughts, of feelings and memories. I would say equally powerful, if not more powerful, than the external world. And when we hold the image in our mind of 8 billion brothers and sisters, and each one creating thoughts, each one of those 8 billion, and pumping those thoughts into the atmosphere, our minds collectively have created the atmosphere we see in the world. I've actually had the fortune in my life to travel to most corners of this world. And I would say no matter where you go, people are complaining that things are getting worse. The world is going downhill, not just environmentally, politically, but morally. On all levels, people think that things are getting worse. So where does it all begin? What is the origin of this? You know, I feel when the collective human mind is full of greed, we create this materialistic culture, and the result, we're destroying our planet, we're destroying the environment through our greed. When the collective human mind is full of ego, there's so much self-interest. I just think as long as I'm okay, my family's okay. We don't reach out to our brothers and sisters. I think the most intrinsic character of a human soul that defines a human being is to have compassion for our fellow human beings, our brothers and sisters. When the collective human mind is full of anger, there is so much conflict in our world, in our homes, in the workplaces, and between countries, as we can see, and even within countries. When the collective human mind is full of fear, there's so much anxiety in our world. And when we see this collective human mind pumping out this sort of negative thinking and feeling into the atmosphere, it's like a lack of self-awareness, a lack of self-rule, a lack of self-mastery. It's almost like we are so educated about the world around us. So many of us have PhDs and MBAs and all these big degrees. And yet it seems, on the other hand, we are so uneducated about our inner world. Because when we create those quality of thoughts, it affects the happiness of my life, and we actually influence the environment negatively also. And so I feel that the main habit we need to create a better world is to change our vision on ourselves, to have self-respect, to have self-esteem, to start to have positive thoughts about myself, and let go the deep habits of self-dislike, self-criticism, and all these feelings, these negative attitudes towards myself. You know, there was a great German philosopher called Goethe, and he once said, "The greatest ill to befall man is to think ill of himself." So when there's 8 billion of us thinking ill of ourselves, in other words, we've lost our self-rule, what sort of world do we get? When I can't respect myself, will I respect other people? I don't think so. Will I respect society and society's ways? I don't think so. Will I respect the environment? I don't think so. So when I lose self-rule, When I lose my self-respect, this is the world we receive. And I began my own spiritual journey around nearly 50 years ago. And when I began to meditate with the Brahma Kumaris, I began in London, I had such a deep realization about one habit I had collected. And that was the habit of this self-criticism, negativity towards the self, self-doubt, lack of self-confidence, this negative attitude towards myself. And I began to realize that, self-respect is my own evaluation of the inner me. It's not an evaluation of my skills, my talents, my successes, my attainments in life. That's often my ego, actually. Often when I see success out there, I think of myself as successful. But actually, self-esteem is seeing success inside. In other words, I like who I am. I feel comfortable about the person I am. I have a sense of self-value. And to me, this is the great success of life, when I can say from my heart, I like being me. And I often feel that most of us in life, we have 4 visions on us. All of us experience these. There's the vision of the world. The world will judge and label you in 1 second based on your gender, your color, your religion, your clothes, your profession, your status. We are judged. Every single one of us experiences this in different ways. Then there's the vision of others. I think most of us, for a lot of our life, have experienced critical vision, critical drishti, if I can use that word, from others. Why? Because if I lack self-respect, I won't respect others. And because humanity lacks self-respect now, it's so hard to give respect to the other. In fact, often we fear those who are different. And look at our world, there's so much fear of those who think differently or believe in different things. Why? Because of this deep habit of lack of self-respect. We've lost that sense of self-rule. The third vision is the vision of myself on myself. And I would say this is the most powerful influence or habit in my life. That if I want to change my life, I have to change. So many times I've met people who say, my boss or my husband or my wife has this very bad vision on me. And we complain bitterly. But actually, in my experience, it's nothing compared to the vision that I have of myself for myself. And what do? We have such a limited negative vision on myself. I put myself in a prison of limitation. I can't be like this. I can't do this. I'm not good at this. I'm shy. I'm weak. I'm this. I'm that. I label myself as this. This is my sense of identity. This habit of self-limitation absolutely influences every moment and every relationship in my life. This is the habit I have to change. And when I began to meditate, the 4th vision was God's vision. And when I began to meditate, I realized that God sees me as a very elevated being. Originally a pure, peaceful, loving being. God saw me there, and I was seeing myself here. And I began to think, what is the spiritual journey? It's letting go this limited vision of myself and stepping back into God's vision. This is the great courage of life, to let go the addiction of a negative attitude towards myself and actually stepping into the vision of God, who sees me as very loving, beautiful, peaceful being. This is really why we meditate, is to step out of this old self and step back into my original self or my true self, which is really a state of self-rule, I would say. Sounds beautiful, doesn't it? But how to do it? Well, I will share my experience. For me, what helped me was that every morning I wake and I sit quietly in the early hours of the morning and I let go the consciousness of all my limitation. I let go all that attitude towards myself and I just sit as an eternal soul, a Jyoti Bindu, a point. And I sit in front of God as the supreme light, the supreme being, Paramatma, the ocean of love. And I sit in front of God and I just allow God to love me, Shiv Baba to love me. My own experience is the more I allow that love to enter the core of my being, it begins to heal the relationship with myself. My attitude of negativity, of self-criticism, of self-put-down, of feeling I'm inferior, not good enough, begins to heal. This is the great gift of God's love, which is this true love. And I feel that if we want to celebrate the 75th anniversary of independence, become independent myself. Take back my self-rule by taking back my self-respect. Experiment yourself. Sit in the early morning hours. Sit in front of Shiv Baba as that radiant jewel of light, the ocean of love. And just feel the vibrations of love emanating from God, touching you, filling you, healing you, transforming you. And really, when many of us do that, we are creating a new world. When we change, the world will change. When I change, the world will change. Thank you so much. Om Shanti.
स्वराज्य से स्वर्णिम भारत।